Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and I'm on a quest to be the most prolific reviewer of all time, which means I get myself into weird side quests. One of them is to beat every NES game by cheating. Why cheat? Two reasons. I'm not very good gamer. I'm what the kiddies used to call a noob. And the other reason is connected to the first. Like, I think um, if you want to successfully review a game, you have to understand how it works, and usually understanding how it works involves beating it. So I can't beat it naturally, so I need to cheat, and if I want to review it, I need to actually beat the game. So I played Ghosts and Goblins, and it's fun. That's the first thing. It's very fun. It's a game that was put out on the NES by Capcom in 1985. It was, like a lot of games at that time, a port of an arcade game. So the arcade game was a huge hit, and the NES version was a huge hit. It sold like 1.5 million copies or something in 1985, which is a lot. So basically, a significant portion of people in the world played this game. And you play a character called King Arthur, Prince Arthur, and you have to rescue a princess from a evil demon lord who's either called Lord Satan or something else. And it's a platforming game, but it's also, a hack and slash game. So you start as this guy, and then you get various weapons that you can shoot at your enemies, and then you have to jump on different platforms and survive until the end of the game. I think you have 3 or 4 different weapon types, and kind of a unique feature about this game is that some weapon types won't work on some bosses, which will be important in a moment. So, I beat the game on stream, and it was really fun to do. It was really frustrating, and like I felt a great sense of accomplishment when I beat the game, even though I was cheating. So I do feel like I accomplished something by beating this game. The thing that maybe irritated me the most, though, is it's a trick. So you beat the game the first time, and the game says, "Oh, you beat me, but it's an illusion. I've tricked you." And then you have to go back to the beginning and beat the whole game again uh, to make it so that you actually beat the game. In my mind, I think that's cheating. That's not actually like I think on the one hand you can create any rules you want in a game, but people don't have to follow them because it's like Uno, right? There are like an official set of rules for Uno, but everybody plays it like the way that they want to play it basically. So that's how I feel about these games on the NES where they're like, "Oh, you didn't actually win." Bubble Bobble is another one where if you are not playing 2 players, you can't actually win, and it says this is the bad ending. Literally, that's what it says. So I think that's punishing the player unnecessarily. And this game is even worse than Bubble Bobble because, as I mentioned a few moments ago, you need certain weapons to beat certain bosses. And you can't equip the weapons. You can't like change the weapons. So if you walk over the weapon and you got that weapon, that's the weapon you're stuck with. So you have to be like very careful about what weapon you have at the end of the game because only a certain weapon can kill the main boss. But then when you get sent back to that first level, you have to hope the regular weapon spawns. It doesn't necessarily spawn because you'll have the wrong weapon for the first boss, your weapon will be too advanced and you won't be able to win. So then you'll die and your game will be over. So uh, I heard people were taking like 10 hours to beat this game. And I believe it, right? Because you have to, it's not actually that long of a game. Like, I think you can get to if you don't die, because there's only like 6 levels, you can get to the end in maybe about 20 minutes. But then when you go back to the beginning, you have to have the right thing. And if you don't have the right thing, you start all over again. And it's not as bad as Contra, which is like one shot, one death kind of thing. It's not as bad as that. But it's 2 shots and death. So it's really hard, basically. Yeah, the only other interesting thing about this game is that you fight demons in this game. So it's kind of like Castlevania, but Castlevania I think came out a little bit later. You fight demons in the game, and one of the last weapons is a cross. And the developers thought that would be too religious, so they made it a shield instead. Or they thought that it would offend religious people. And I'm not sure why, because, like there's a certain set of Christians who really believe literally in spiritual warfare. So what would be a more powerful symbol of that than a cross? Right? And it's like a metaphor for the spiritual warfare. So I don't really get why they changed that, but they did change it. Is it fun? Yes. But what did you think? Did you ever play Ghosts and Goblins for the NES or any other port? Put your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you feel about it. Did you win? Did you beat the game by not cheating? Did you beat it twice? I'm curious to see if anybody actually has done that. All right, thanks and bye.